All right. Welcome
Hey,
back, everyone. We love you. We love you. We love you. Thank you
and
for
you're okay
joining
too.
us. And you're cool. You're cool. You suck. You're cool. We'll do it backwards. Everybody's
That's right.
cool.
Yeah.
How was your guys' weekend, Vince? No
Uh,
Tyler, but
yeah. I'll tell you
I'll
what. We
speak for
went
his
bowling.
weekend real quick. It was
Yep.
great.
Yep.
It was
Absolutely.
great.
He's having a fantastic time. We went bowling on Saturday, and I got a 134, which for bowling, people that are actually good at bowling, that's not that good. But for people that are terrible at bowling, that's freaking awesome. So I feel real good about that. Hey Sam, what did you get? Did you get a 134 as well?
Got a
That's
134
right.
in
We
that first
tied,
game.
and
Yeah.
Tyler was behind us about 10 pins or so. So
Yeah.
Tyler lost. He sucks. Ha 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 ha. Got you good. And we don't need to worry about the second game because everybody played worse in the second game. So
But I beat you guys in the second game, so
yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
so that's what
Details,
matters.
details, details, details. Oh
Yeah,
man.
Sunday, I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off.
Mhm.
I was I was heartbroken. I mean, what was that performance by the Golden State Warriors, Vince?
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Like there was times when they looked like they were, playing well, and like I thought that they had it locked up and they were ready to go. They were going to cruise on to the victory, and then for whatever reason, it just all kind of fell apart a little bit. They end up going into overtime against the Clippers and can't get the job done. The Clippers handled business in overtime. James Harden handled business in overtime. I think he scored every point for the Clippers in overtime. Now that I think about it, um, they end up losing by 5 in overtime. They lost earlier in the week as well to San Antonio. That's what kind of necessitated the the win and you're in for the number 6 seed. We talked before about how the Clippers are going to blow it. They're going to Clipper at some point, and that still holds true. It just it's going to happen in the playoffs themselves. Like they get to stay home. They get to play the Lakers in the first round, so no travel on them at all. It's just the court gets to flip between yellow and purple versus red and blue. So that's I would have loved to have the easy trip or whatever. But they're gonna play Memphis. They're gonna host Memphis in the play-in tournament. On that game is gonna be on Tuesday. Uh, you got to win that game because if you don't win that one, then you're forced to host the final game on Friday, and you'll take on the winner of the I believe it's the Kings and who is it? Uh, Kings and Dallas. So you don't want to see either of that. You don't want to even mess with a second round. Just handle your business. Memphis is a team that's in free fall, so get it done. Uh, Memphis was like the number 2 seed at one point earlier this year, and they've just fallen apart. They're down to they're sitting at 8 right now for a reason. So just don't mess around. Handle business. Get it done. When they get the job done tomorrow, this will be the first win in the play-in tournament for the Warriors. They're 0-3 in these games, and that's two different seasons being in it as well. So, God, I hate the play-in tournament so much. I hate being in the play-in tournament so much.
Yeah.
It as a casual viewer, I think it's great. But when your team is in it, it is too much pressure, too stressful. Um, man, like just my heart can't take it. I might just have a little heart attack on
Yeah.
watching this game, man. I hope it's like a 20-point blowout and we don't have to worry about it. And they just handle business from tip off to the last whistle. That's what I
You
need.
are you are way more positive than I am.
Yeah,
Whatever positive energy that I had coming into Sunday is like evaporated.
right.
You controlled your own destiny against the Spurs.
Hmm.
You let that one slip away, and then you let the one against the Clippers slip away, and that's just like the past few games. We can go back throughout the season, and there's a bunch of games. The Miami game, you didn't even get off
Hmm.
the airplane.
Yeah.
Um, it's really hard for me, Vince, to say like they're gonna handle business tomorrow
Well,
and be
yeah.
really confident because these are all teams they should have won. They should have beat. They should
Mhm.
have beat all of these teams every single game these past week and a half. These games were we
My
knew were gonna be destiny games. You control your destiny.
my confidence is more based on Memphis free falling than it is on the Warriors not handling business this last week. That's really where my confidence is that Memphis is so bad. Even if they get like hyped up because they hate the Warriors, right? And they,
Right.
they'll I think that they may like there's a possibility they come in a little bit too geeked up and just like are a little too over energetic instead of shooting with clarity. I think they may like come out um trying to do too much. I think that's probably where my confidence is. And it's not necessarily in the Warriors, it's in Memphis uh just not being good the last,
Right.
month and a half of the
Yeah,
season.
it's who's gonna soil themselves harder, and you
Right.
think it's gonna be Memphis, but
Mhm.
the Warriors have soiled themselves. I mean, Gary Payton wasn't very good. Um, I mean, Kaminga is a DNP. Like he didn't even play.
Yeah.
Like what is something's going on?
Mhm.
Like I think that situation is they're probably not going to bring him back. I really don't like think they're going to bring him back because you couldn't find 2 minutes, 3 minutes to see just to see if he had it, to see if he could get it going.
Right.
Um, and you didn't even give him the opportunity. So, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm saying that's what it is. They don't even
That's what
want
the
to
team
play him.
believes right now. Yeah,
And
they'd rather not.
I would think this is not just coming from Steve Kerr. I know Kerr will get the blame for every on this. I think like if the players really wanted Kaminga on the floor and suited up to play, then Jimmy Butler and Curry and Draymond and everybody would have went to coach and said, "Nah, like he gives us the best chance to win, coach. He needs to suit up." And I think, that would have been I haven't heard of that. I haven't heard of people speaking up. I think they're, Curry last week had a nice comment about, just leave the guy alone. He's, 22, 23 years old, whatever he is, and just let him develop. It was nice that Steph Curry was like taking the guy's back, like covering for him. But at the same time, if Curry wanted him on the floor, you would have defended him to the coach and got him on the floor. Is what I'm thinking, and I I just don't think he's going to be a Golden State Warrior for much longer. And that was a player you needed to get you some offense. So I think there's something going on in Warriors land. I'm not as confident as I was. I think they win this next game? I think they do. Do I think they do, or is that hope?
They should win this
They
game. Is
should.
is what they should win this game. And uh I honestly, it is a little bit of hope. Like, because this play-in tournament has been terrible for the Warriors the last couple of times they've been in it, and that's why we didn't want any part of it. But here we are. We find ourselves stuck in it, and I hate being here, but the third time's the charm. Maybe this is the third season we'll have to be in the play-in tournament. Maybe they finally get it done this time. I'm gonna throw out every single cliche I can because I don't know what else, man. Like I just yeah, like you said, it was disappointing that they didn't handle business. You only go 2-2 over a week when we wanted 4-0. We needed 3-1. And you fall one game short of that. And it's unfortunate. And there was opportunities throughout the entire season. It doesn't fall just on this last week, but this week obviously gets the most attention because it's the freshest in our mind. Um, so that's unfortunate. It is what it is, and we just got to deal with it. And God, tomorrow is gonna be like I'm gonna be vapor locked to the chair, man, like booty puckered, like keeping
Yeah,
me
you
there. I'm
sent
not gonna be able to get up, man. You
was
gotta
that the Nacho
crowbar me though.
Libre or
Yeah.
that you
I
sent
sent that.
over?
I sent
Yeah.
that gif of Nacho Libre squeezing his butt cheeks in the yeah.
Yeah. And
uh
yeah, I mean, I expect them to win. I think they're gonna win, but I don't think it's gonna be a blowout, a
yeah.
rout. I think it's gonna be just like the meme. It's gonna, booties are gonna be tight on both sides, and somehow I think they'll eke it out. But that doesn't mean I'm very confident going on into the playoffs. I think my fear is, Vince, is that the Jimmy Butler spike um, unfortunately for this team maybe wore off, and now they're back to mid. That's what I'm really worried about, especially with the team that's aging and very few extremely athletic guys like Jonathan Kaminga can't get on the court and get a couple minutes to even see if he has it for the night. That's kind of what I'm worried about because these teams that they're going to have to go through if they advance, they're very athletic
Yeah.
in comparison to the Warriors. So
Yeah, so I just happened to pull up the NBA championship odds on BetMGM. Um so obviously Oklahoma City Thunder is plus 175, Boston Celtics are plus 220, Cavaliers are plus 600, Lakers are plus 1100. Do you want to guess where the Warriors are?
plus 15.
Plus 1400. Yeah.
Oh
So right
wow.
now they're sitting at number 5. Obviously that's in part just proximity to Las Vegas. A lot of people betting money on the Warriors anyway. A lot of people from the Bay Area, and Warriors do have a worldwide audience. So a fan base that extends beyond the Bay Area and Northern California at large. So there's a lot of money that comes in. That's part of the 1400, I think. The 14 to 1.
Yeah.
I mean, 14 to 1, that's pretty good money if they are able to suddenly put it together in the play. Like if they get it done in the play-in tournament, only have to play the one game. You end up getting 5 days off. It's not a full week off, before you play the Rockets. The Rockets are plus 8,000, by the way. So not a lot of love in Vegas for the Rockets. There, just Clippers are plus 3,500. Yeah, so it's I think playing the Rockets, that's going to be a tough task. That's not a gimme by any stretch. But you gotta win on Tuesday, and then you get 5 days to prep for them,
Yeah.
and that's really key. And honestly, you might be able to steal game one if you just having like played a little bit more recently, maybe a little less rusty than the Rockets. You know, that's why I kind of wanted that 3-6 matchup because both teams would have had the same amount of rest. So there's no
Right.
excuse there. Um, oh well, that's
Yeah,
not the
that's
path we were
gone. That's
given.
gone. Yeah,
Eh,
it is what it is.
Yeah,
But Vince, this team has that championship DNA. It's
right. Yeah, that's what it is, right? Yeah. So I mean, just this article that I have. The Warriors were 25 and 26 before Jimmy Butler came to the team. They're 23 and 8 since. Uh, if they would have gone 24 and 7, they wouldn't be in this play-in tournament. But uh, I mean, just obviously the team did bounce. There was a huge Jimmy Butler bounce. I don't know if the bounce is gone or not now because they were so incredibly hot when they had him, and they've the last 10, I think they're 6-4 or something like that in their last 10. But yeah, it's what do you do?
yeah.
We watch the game, we order order your pizza and wings, and strap in, get ready for a good game, and you hope that they handle business, and you're hosting the game. And if the worst comes to worst, and you drop this game against Memphis, you do have one more chance, and that's Friday night. So the loser of the game on Tuesday will host the winner on Friday night. Just to reiterate that. I do not want any do not make me watch basketball on Friday. I don't want to. I want no part of that. Don't make me do it, Warriors. For the love of Thor. I pray to Zeus Almighty that we do not have to watch the Warriors play on Friday. Just get it done on Tuesday. Speaking of Greek mythology, the Valkyries made their pick today. How about that for a transition? Oh, okay. That was all right until I actually pointed out the transition.
That's what I was
They
gonna say. Like,
they selected.
you can't dunk it and then say, "Hey, did you
Yeah,
see
you
me
see that
dunk
dunk?
it?"
You see that? Yeah, no. So they selected this 19-year-old Lithuanian player who's playing professionally in France. Her name is Justa Yochi. I think Yochis, something like that.
We'll
It's
work on it.
Lithuanian. We'll work on it. We'll hear other people pronounce it and we'll get better at it. Just I did grab one blurb. Her last season in France, she's a guard. Well, she's a wing really. 6'2", 12 points per game, 3 rebounds a game, 3 assists a game. Let's see. She's been playing professionally since she was 14. She got a silver medal with Lithuania at the under 16 European Championship and a gold medal at the under 18 championship. Um, let's see. She's 19 years old right now, so she's a lot younger than most of the rookies that are being drafted because a lot of them are graduating college,
Mhm.
or after 4 years or so. Let's see. They say she's an excellent ball handler, has a smooth pull up. She can create out of the pick and roll. Long way to go defensively. Her ability to score and run offense against European pros is special. Uh, and uh, let's see. And basically, this article that I'm reading, they thought that the Washington Mystics were going to pick her at 4 because there was no way she was getting past the Valkyries at 5. Uh, the Washington Mystics ended up picking Kiki in Offeren, but so that's who I thought that the Valkyries were going to select. But uh, this player Yochite. That's what we're going to go with for now until we hear otherwise. Apologies for the undoubted butchering of your name. We'll get better at that as we go. Um, yeah, so that's basically your scouting report. She needs a little bit seasoned defensively, offensively. She's already ready to roll. She's the top international player in this draft. So that's there's a lot of international players on the Valkyries as it is right now. So they're just kind of continuing to build that international flair that they have right here.
I was just gonna say, it seems like it's pretty intentional to have an international team, and I wonder if that's to, like, get buzz globally around your brand. I mean, I would think
Possibly,
so.
yeah. A little zag when everybody's zigging as well.
Right.
Um, if you market internationally, there's a lot of money there to be found, and you say, "Oh, this new team, they're the same people as the Warriors." That's you can build in an international, world class fan base as well. Uh, so
Yeah, the
I see it.
cross-pollination
Yeah,
between the Golden
ex-
State Warriors and Valkyrie, like,
yeah.
Steph Curry's gonna be taking some photos at some
Mhm.
point with
It,
this young
the
lady.
Yeah, play Warriors players are already wearing Valkyries gear.
Yeah,
So and the Valkyries do have the best jerseys in the league already as it
yeah.
is. So it's a good time to kind of jump into the W if you haven't yet. And we got a local team now, so even more reason to kind of get involved, get interested, and uh they start playing middle of May. That's when the regular season starts. They got a couple of preseason games at the beginning of May against Los Angeles Sparks, and then a couple other teams. I forget off the top of my head. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but yeah, this is kind of happening. I'm ready to get going. This is it's the time. Tis the season, right? Yeah,
Absolutely.
the WNBA draft is literally happening right now as we're talking. It looks like they're at the end of the first round. Oh no, the first round just ended. So
Yeah,
they just started the second round. So that's where we're at in the draft right now, and we'll see what happens here coming up as soon as the second round happens, and if we have a player, we'll drop in and announce it. Also, if you're watching on the YouTube, this is the first time we get to use the Golden State Valkyries news and notes image as well. So got to create that one special just for today, and we're going to be able to keep using that going forward, obviously. So really excited for that.
awesome. All right, man. Looks like we're gonna go from the hardwood to the ice.
That's right.
A little bit of a Sharks update. So get us through it, Vince. Start off with
All right.
the week of
So
past week of
so
action.
yeah, so they right after we recorded last week, they dropped the game at home against Calgary. That was me and yours pick for win of the week. They lose that game 3-2. They go to Minnesota. They almost get the job done. They end up losing 8-7. That was the first career hat trick for Calderini. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm putting it into like I'm putting the energy out there. Get him the Calder Trophy. And then they end up losing at Edmonton 4-2 on Friday, and on Sunday they lose 5-2 at Calgary. That game was pretty close heading into the third, and that one just kind of fell apart again. Yeah, they have officially locked in the worst record in the NHL for the second season in a row. So there's only 2 games remaining. They're at Vancouver tonight, and then they come back home, host Edmonton on Wednesday, and then that's your season.
that's it. Game
Yeah,
over.
that's it. You know what? I'll take the I'll just take the win at home. It doesn't really matter. I got blown out this season for win of the week, but yeah. So which one do you want? Do you want Vancouver or at home against Edmonton?
Um, I'll just take Vancouver
You'll take Vancouver just for
for whatever.
reasons. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So there are actually a couple of pieces of news Sharks wise to talk about. Uh, Logan Couture. The news just broke. So Tim, we don't even have this ready for you, but here's the Tankathon standings right there. Go ahead and just leave that up. That's fine. Oh, okay. We do have the story. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and roll with that then. So it sounds like Logan Couture is going to announce the end of his career due to injury. This news broke um probably a couple of hours ago. I think I was still on the clock when it came through. So he has the injury that he has is it's known as osteitis pubis, which is, according to the Cleveland Clinic, is inflammation in the joint between the left and right pubic bones. It can cause pain and swelling in one's groin or lower abdominal, and can be commonly found in athletes due to repetitive usage of the hips, pelvis, and groin. So he hasn't played this season. His last game was January 31st, 2024. He only played 6 games last season. And it sounds like I mean, he was hopeful when he was returning to the ice last season, but he just hasn't been able to go. It's going to be the end of his career. That he's not going to officially retire, because if he does, then he forfeits the last 2 years of his contract. So he wants to still get paid. So he'll be on the long-term injury list, basically. Yeah, it's just a rough end to a pretty damn good career. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he is a Hall of pretty damn good. He's in the Yevgeny Nabokov, Dan Boyle class of Sharks players, in my opinion. Like, really good guys for a really long time, but not Hall of Fame material. But like, he made a couple of All-Star games. He was a bit of an irritant.
Not NHL Hall of Fame, but what about
Not
like Sharks Ring of Honor?
right now, the Sharks only have been like Ring of Honor retiring jerseys for Patty and Jumbo. So if they ever start doing like a Ring of Honor, like they do have the the San Jose Sports Hall of Fame that's like in the arena, like you have plaques and
Right.
stuff for a lot of players. He'll obviously be getting one of those, no doubt about that. But uh as far as like a jersey retirement, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's in the cards. I don't think they want to retire jerseys for people who were pretty damn good for a while. Otherwise, number 20 would have been retired already. We would have seen Gino get his, but I don't think that's going to happen. But hell of a career. It sucks that it's ending like this. I wish he could have been hung around to captain these boys through the next one. Uh, unfortunate. Let's see. 323 goals, 378 assists in 933 regular season games. It's about 2 points every 3 games for his career. 2/3 of a point a game. Solid numbers. Let's see. Playoffs is kind of where he really got going. That was 48 goals in 116 playoff games. He was massive in the 2016 playoffs. I think it was like 10 goals, 30 points in that entire run for the Stanley Cup final appearance. He also had 14 goals and 20 points in 2019 when the Sharks went to the Western Conference Finals. Um, Back in January, Greer said that they weren't going to make any change to the captaincy, even though Couture was not playing. Obviously, with him not playing on a definitive permanent basis, that's going to change next year. And I think what ends up happening is Toffoli gets the C pinned on him. He's under contract for the next 3 years after this one. He just scored 30 goals again, third straight year of 30 goals,
Yep.
and so he's a guy that can fill the back of the net. So um teams can't, like, they may go without a captain for a year or two. Um Maybe like waiting for Celebrini to be the so and so called successor or whatever. They did that in 2015. They like went without a captain and before pinning it on Joe Pavelski. And that did not work at all. I do not like that. I want somebody with a C on their chest, and I want that player to be able to play a significant portion of the games. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate that after those 6 games last season, he couldn't keep going, and that was unfortunately the last we'll ever see of Logan on ice. And it sucks, but I think Toffoli will probably get the C pinned on him, and then Celebrini will get one of the A's, and then you will see at some point, maybe in a couple of years, that's when they'll make the change to Celebrini getting the captaincy. They may do that. They may just pin the C on him as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old next season. That's entirely within the cards as well. The Blackhawks did that to Jonathan Toews, and Jonathan Toews has been the name that I've been using uh, before the season started. I think he's actually turned out a little bit better than what we could have hoped for in terms of like Taves or whatever. So that's great. I loved what I've seen from him. I love getting that hat trick too. I think that's the first rookie hat trick in like a decade or something like that, maybe even
Yeah.
longer. Like it's been like I saw that stat flash by before I could even really register what I was seeing. Um, yeah. So just a couple of positive things looking forward. You're in line to possibly get that number one overall seed
Yeah. Yee.
again. You're not going to fall any further than number 3. Like that will not happen. At worst, you're going to be picking third. Uh, so and you get 2 first round draft picks in this season and next season. So there's still a lot to be excited about, and everybody seems to be getting ready to come up and start playing and start contributing at the big level, and it's happening soon. And like a lot of these guys are in the AHL right now. They actually just called Quentin Musty up to the CUDA.
Yeah, I
Uh,
saw
so
that.
so they're starting to get all the young boys' feet wet in the playoffs for them, because the Barracuda clinched a playoff spot. I like that they're going to get to play some playoff hockey, even if it's not at the NHL level. Just kind of you know, iron sharpens iron type of thing. And if you're playing in the playoffs at the AHL level, you'll be able to see those guys that you're playing in the playoffs in a couple of years at the NHL level. You would think, right? So, and that goes for your opponents and your own players too. So, this is a chance to get a little bit of fun experience, fun hockey experience as well. And I'm stoked, man. I'm glad that the Barracuda get to keep playing after the regular season. So
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to track what they do in the playoffs, and looks like Askarov gonna be playing. He played last week is what I saw, with the Barracuda.
um I'm sorry. I was trying to read the. Make sure I
Askarov.
didn't miss anything. Yeah.
Askarov is going to be in the playoffs with the Barracuda, right? I believe
I
he's
I,
playing for
I,
them.
I believe so. So that's
Yeah,
good.
so get him some meaningful games. Then next year you got a positive foundation. You got all these young guys, got a ton of reps.
Mhm.
Um, you got a ton of prospects at almost every position on every level. And you're going to be contributing to that. So now I hope Mike Greer gets some free agents, dude. Like,
Yeah.
don't
They,
just
they,
ride the wave of like
they
youth.
yeah, yeah.
Like
There's a ton.
go out and pay somebody one or two contracts. Get a good veteran or two or three in here because Vince, I know their record says otherwise, but I think Celebrini, Will Smith, and Eklund are all going to be better next year. I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
how much better, but they're
Mhm.
going to be better. And I think one of the things you want to do with a team that's rebuilding is you want to start getting competitive as soon as you can. So if you need to go and I know we were joking around on a text chat, Mitch Marner is available.
Yeah.
Go like go and overpay somebody because you can. It's not going to impact Celebrini or Will Smith or Eklund's future. It's not going to impact any future contracts to the young guys.
Yeah.
So teach them to be competitive and win. Try to start winning as soon as possible. You don't need another first round pick next year,
Right.
or a top 2 pick or a top 3 pick or something.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'd be happy with like a number 9 pick or something like that next year, you know.
Right.
You can go out and get Mitch Marner would be a huge if they're able to pull that off. They have the cap room to do it too. I just pulled up 15 potential free agents to watch. A guy like Sam Bennett, the center in Florida, he's a 25 goal scorer. I'd like to get something like that. He's kind of a dog on a bone is what one NHL exec referred to him as. So like just a kind of tough sandpaper guy. Somebody like John Tavares, expensive veteran type. You don't have to pay him the 7-year, 77 million he's currently sitting on. He's a little bit older than that. He's 34 now, it looks like. So yeah, he did have 38 goals this year. So somebody like that, but he's going to be a little bit cheaper than Mitch Marner. But yeah, if you
I
can
think Mitch
attract
Marner is
somebody
still
like
like
that,
28 or 29 though. So he's
yeah,
still
Mitch Marner's 27 right now. Actually, yeah,
yeah,
I just
see, he's
looked that up. Yeah,
27, Vince. He's
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. So yeah, there's a whole lot of guys that are available. I want to shore up the back end a little bit too.
I would
I
say,
mean,
if you can get some defensemen up in here,
yeah.
because that's the harder position for younger players to learn. So,
Somebody like Aaron
stack some
Ekblad,
guys.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. If you get Aaron Ekblad, I think that would be huge. Somebody like that. He's on the free agent list right now. He had he's relatively young-ish. He's on the right side of 30. He's 29 right now. So if you can get him for like his current contract is 8 years, 60 million. So but that's expiring. So you would let's see. Yeah, that one, like, if it takes another 8-year contract for him, obviously, I don't love the 8-year contract. The Sharks are still sitting on a couple of those right now.
Yeah.
The Burnsy one, they're still taking money on from that. Same with the Carlson one, I believe.
How will
But
Couture's if he's not
oh,
playing
So because
what
he's on long-term injury, that money comes off. That money does not affect
the cap?
the salary cap. So and thanks for the question, Pops, in the chat right there. And if you're listening or watching, you can join in on the chat too. Live Mondays. We record 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. So yeah, this is it's a good opportunity. You can move. That's a lot of money on Logan Couture's contract, and it just opens up even more chance to go out and spend some money and get some quality players. And you don't necessarily have to get one of these top 15 guys. You can there's a lot of, the middle class, so to speak, of NHL players, but they're, good, talented, players that you can sign for give them a little bit of extra money because you're coming to California, right? They always talk about the the taxes in California or whatever, but also living, like you get a lot of sunshine out here too. So there's a lot of good selling points, and it's a young team with a lot of talent around, but also low expectations right now as it sits, and also um the press isn't insane like they are in on the East Coast or in Canada, like in Toronto or Boston or New York. If you have a rough couple of weeks, yeah, they'll ask you some questions about it, but they're not gonna just be ripping you to shreds every night about for it too. So there's a lot of good selling points here too. I remember when Burnsy first came over, he actually like just posted on Twitter asking, "Hey, where's some good places to go mountain biking?" And he and some fans went out and just mountain biked in the freaking hills in Santa Clara County, so like there's I wouldn't necessarily say go ahead and do that now at this point, but there's an opportunity to like lay low a little bit, and just kind of enjoy life out here. And I don't know why I'm making the pitch. I'm sure Mike Greer's making the pitch as well to a lot of guys once he's able to on July 1st when free agency officially opens, and not a minute beforehand. Of course, obviously, we wouldn't want to tamper.
Yeah, because we're affiliated with the team.
Right? Exactly.
We
Yeah.
could
No
get them in
tampering
trouble.
whatsoever. Yeah.
All right,
All
Vince, we're gonna go from the ice to the pitch.
all right.
So our normal Wrexham update is not happening by Tyler. So you're
Yeah.
gonna take over these privileges here.
Yep, that's right. So they get the draw, no score at all at Wigan Athletic. They're currently sitting in second place, 82 points. They right on their heels is Wycombe. They have 81 points. Both teams have played 42 games. There's 46 games left in the season, so only 4 left for those of you that can math. Um so yeah, they control their own destiny. There's 2 games in the upcoming week before we talk to you again. On Friday, they're playing against Bristol Rovers, and then they are at Blackpool on Monday. So there's like I said, 4 games left to control your own destiny. If you handle business, you're getting the automatic promotion. If you fall down a little bit, you're gonna end up playing in the playoff to get that third and final promotion spot. And Wrexham has a history of not doing quite so well in those promotion playoff tournaments when they were in the National League. It took them 15 years to get out of it, right? And then they ended up getting out of it by skipping it entirely. So avoiding that is going to be the key. And we talk about with the Warriors, the play-in tournament. We don't want to have to deal with that. And the same thing with Wrexham. We don't want to see we just want to see them get the automatic spot. It's a lot easier. You're not catching Birmingham, so you're not going to win EFL 1, but just getting that automatic move up into the championship, that would be huge for that team. So an opportunity sits and just got to grab hold of it. I don't know what other cliches you want me to say, but let's go Dragons, let's go. um Valkyries are on the clock as well, by the way, for their second round pick, and I'll just kind of keep glancing up. Thanks for the update, Papa G, in the chat. Let's move on to Bay FC. I believe that's the next one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, so they end up losing at home against the Chicago Stars 2-1. It was a very unfortunate match. Ludmila, the Brazilian, scores in the 5th minute and the 41st minute. Caroline Conti took the penalty in the 58th minute to get the lone goal for Bay FC. The defense did not look good. Emily Menges, it was her first game back. She only played the first half. She was wearing the armband last year. She just looked really slow out there in the first half. They ended up replacing her with Joelle Anderson. The defense looked a lot better in the second half. Already, their back line is not based in speed. They're more based in positioning and know-how and just doggedness. That's Abby Dahlkemper is not gonna be trying out for the U.S. Olympic track team anytime soon. So to be fair, and that wasn't her game even before the back injuries and everything that's kind of cost her her spot on the U.S. women's national team. So they just looked slow on the defense. There was really nothing the goalkeeper could do about that. Silkowitz, it was a rough game, man. And they did look a lot better in the second half. And when you look at the expected goals, Bay FC was actually up on expected goals 1.4 to 1.28, according to the Athletic. Chicago is now 12th in the league. Bay FC falls to 8th in the league. They're 4 games in. It's too early to talk playoffs and whatnot, but there are 8 playoff spots. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Next year, there are 2 more teams entering the league, so I don't know what's going to happen there. I would assume they'll leave it at 8 for at least the first season. Yeah, so their next game is going to be at North Carolina Courage, and that's going to be on Saturday. So, and that's obviously because it's North Carolina Courage. That is an East Coast start time. That'll be probably around 4:00, 4:30. And when you're looking at North Carolina Courage, I believe it's a 4:00 start time. They've had a cold start to the season. They were 5th in the league last year, so they did finish ahead of Bay FC last year. So you don't want to let them get right against you. You know, now's the time to start stacking up points. You don't want to have to come from the bottom all the way up into the playoffs like you did last year. This year you want to host a playoff game if at all possible. Right now, you got to get some wins though on the board, and it starts hopefully this week. They're like I said, the Courage are second from the bottom. They're a -3 goal differential, so they're not getting a lot of goals. They're let's see, They're in 4 games. They've only allowed 6, but they've only scored 3 goals in 4 total games. So if you're a team that prides yourself on being able to score, you got to get one in against them right this coming week. So there is your Bay FC update. And we're going to stay in women's soccer, though. We're even staying in
Hold
San Jose.
on. Real quick, the Valkyrie just picked Cheyenne Sellers from
Cheyenne
Maryland.
Sellers.
So
Okay.
she's their 2nd round draft pick.
All defensive team for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
In 2022-23. She was at the draft, it looks like, so that's cool. She's a good enough player to be there. So that's cool. I'll have to dive in and figure out. We'll dive in and
No,
have a more.
In case anybody who doesn't know is seeing this is like the Valkyries' inaugural draft. This is their first ever draft. So
these are the first 2 players that they have chosen from amateur or international into the W. So this is great, All right. So like I said, we'll circle back to the Valkyries next week as well when we can do a little bit of a deeper dive. But to the US women's national team, they get they get to play a game in San Jose, a game that your boy Vinny G was at. So that was really exciting. I got to go there and had my Alex Morgan jersey on, and I was, ready to roll. We had fun before the game, and hell, even right 34 seconds into the game, Kat Macario gets a goal. Alyssa Thompson drove the ball deep, and then she ends up getting stuffed by the Brazilian goalkeeper. But then Macario was right there to pick up the loose change and banged it home 34 seconds in. I think it's the 7th fastest goal in U.S. women's national team history. So just an insane fast start. Unfortunately, Brazil got a goal in the 24th minute after basically a barrage of attacks for about 10 minutes. Caroline, who's your new number 10 after Marta retired from international competition, she scored on a breakaway going over the top of Mandy McGlynn, the goalkeeper for the U.S. And then heartbreakingly, in stoppage time in the second half, Brazil got their 2nd goal of the game. Luani gave a through pass to Amanda Gutierrez, and just absolutely nothing the goalkeeper could do about that one either. Just an absolute piss rocket. And Brazil gets the win. That's their first win in a long, long time. I think they only have 4 total against the U.S. Women's national team. when I was looking at the starting lineup specifically, Emma Hayes had talked about wanting to expand the pool, right? And give a lot of players a lot of chances. So there are a couple of stats. So in the starting lineup, the player with the most caps, that's international appearances, was Emily Sonnet with 106. The rest of the starters combined had 81 caps. So the other 10 players averaged 8 caps between them. Emily Sonnet 106. 7 of the 10 had 5 or fewer, and it's also the youngest starting 11 under Emma Hayes. The average caps for the team was 17. Average age was 22 years old, so a really young team that she rolled out there to give them an opportunity. Uh, yeah, so in fact, it's so young. They actually, one of the press that covers this, the U.S. Women's National Team, and women's soccer at large, I believe for the Athletic, Meg Linehan said, referred to it as Emily Sonnet's U.S. Women's National Team daycare. So, so that's basically, it was a lot of the one veteran out there. Sonnet was wearing the armband, and then everybody else, babies, essentially, is what happened there. And frankly, after that first goal, high energy goal, they looked like it. Brazil had them on their heels. The veterans go out there in the second half. That's when you put on Crystal Dunn and Heaps, and yeah. So that's kind of where the game started to even out a little bit. But even so, just that last attack. And I actually turned to Courtney. I was like, this game feels like it's not going to be a draw. Like I think we're going to get some chaos, some NWSL after dark, even though it's a U.S. Women's National Team instead of NWSL. So and Chaos League, even though it wasn't Chaos League per se, it was a Chaos League field. So I had a lot of fun at the game though, and I did take a couple of pictures and I shared them to my Instagram stories for those of you that follow me. If you don't follow me, that's okay. Not the end of the world. I'm not sad. I'm not bitter about it. Whatever. It's cool. Whatever. No, it was a lot of fun, and I look forward to going to the next time they're in town. So
Right
there
on, man.
is your soccer update. Yeah.
And
I do have one more note. I'm sorry. The U.S. Women's National Team is now going to be playing Jamaica in St. Louis on June 3rd. The original opponent was originally going to be China, but with the state of international politics and everything, China is not going to be able to play. So that's why Jamaica is going to step in. Jamaica gets to play against a top quality opponent, and U.S. Women's National Team gets to give Becky Sauerbrun's retirement game an opponent in Jamaica instead of China,
yeah,
a CONCACAF fellow opponent. So Papa G says for the Valkyries pick, Cheyenne
Cheyenne.
Sellers, her dad played 6 seasons in the NBA. So I you know what, I do like nepo babies when it comes to athletes. They do have a lot of opportunity to learn the games, be in the locker room. We got to see it firsthand with Steph Curry, right? If you have family in the league, then you kind of know how the locker room is. You know what it takes to be in the league. You get to see that firsthand day in, day out. And Dell was a pretty damn good player for a long time. He was a shooter. He was big in Charlotte, right? But yeah. So and then you get to see that happen in with Steph Curry with Golden State for his entire career, hopefully. And so I like the opportunity of having somebody that at least knows what it's like to be a professional athlete day in, day out. Obviously, NBA locker room is different from the WNBA locker room, but hard work is still hard work, right? And we're gonna have a lot of fun. And it's a defensive grinder is what it sounds like, just like off the very, very cursory initial look that I'm seeing. So just excited to see what this team does. Obviously, as an expansion team, you're not really expecting much. You kind of plan on losing a lot, and the way they picked the team this year, there's going to be a lot. Only 3 players now are going to be under contract. outside of these two that just got
And
drafted.
we kinda knew that was happening because
Exactly.
the whole restructuring of the
Exactly.
WNBA next year.
The new the new
Yeah,
collective bargaining agreement takes over, and that's when more money's coming in. And so every player basically in the league uh has their contracts expiring after this year.
right.
So
No
everybody
player
can get in on
wanted
that
to
money.
sign a
So
contract beyond this year, like,
yeah, and
so there's
this
gonna be a
actually
ton of free agents.
this actually provides a great opportunity. Year one, you show the the top notch you know, first class standards, accommodations, everything that you're showing for these players right now. They get to kind of see it. They get to play in it 1 year as a visitor and say, "Oh, wouldn't it be kind of nice to like, have these awesome facilities going forward, like they're not they're sharing the home arena with the Warriors, but the Valkyries have their own entire thing. They basically redid the old Warriors facility in Oakland. That's now the Valkyries, and they've like there's tours on their Instagram of like what they did, the new facilities, how like just top notch that they redid that entire building. So it's an exciting chance for them to showcase everything in a live environment, and then maybe you attract a couple of free agent stars here. Who knows? Might be fun.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, like, I don't expect a whole lot of wins, so you could probably still get a decent draft pick, and you got all this capital to go after some free agents, and hopefully some of the younger players that you drafted tonight,
Mhm.
they show promise, so you start to build this team quickly and start competing quickly, so
Yep, and you're adding the league is adding two teams as well, in
right.
Portland and Toronto. And they're in the process of trying to name the 16th team that will enter the league, and that will probably be for the 2028 season. So, and we would maybe 2027, but like definitely 2028 is what they want, and that process may start coming to fruition shortly. So, within this season for sure, if that's the true timeline. Yeah,
Very exciting stuff. We're gonna keep an
yep.
eye on it. Anything that brings us to the end, guys. Anything you want to add there, Vince?
No, I think that pretty much covers it for me. Congrats on the career, Logan Couture. It's a bummer you couldn't end it, playing as we would have liked to have seen you play. But still, I'm gonna look back on the Logan Couture years, especially the first half of his career, when he before he got the captaincy, like really fondly. His captaincy, unfortunately, his first year as a captain, that was the COVID year.
Yeah.
The 2019-2020 season that was cut short by COVID. So unfortunate. Basically, his entire career has been marred by first a pandemic and then just suckage. And it sucks, but that's just kind of how it ended up for him. And I'm sure other channels are gonna get their opportunity to talk to wax poetic about Logan Couture, and they may even do it better. Somebody like Brody Brazil has a lot of interaction. So the outpouring of support and congratulatory for a hell of a career, 15 years. Not a lot of guys get to play 15 years in the NHL, so stick taps to that man for and being a captain as well for like 5 or 6 of them. So,
Right.
um,
Absolutely.
yeah, just I have a lot of respect for him on the ice. So, yeah,
For sure.
that's
All
it.
right,
That's it for
guys.
me.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to the SVT Sports Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube and hit the bell for alerts so you always know when we go live. Also, if you don't have time to listen on our live shows, take a look at our YouTube channel. We have a bunch of short clips and segments on there as well. Follow us on Instagram and threads at SVT Sports Pod. Don't forget to slide into our direct messages. We would love to interact with you. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night and FJF.